questions as we get up with you right now. Let's go.
Get it.
We are rolling today. And as John Fink said in my ear before we started,
what'd he say?
Sham's jacket is dope. Everybody likes it.
I'll take it.
So we are rolling. Mr. Wilbon is back. J-Mac is here. Squad is rolling today. We got the win man is up. Jeff Darlington is here. Dominique is ready. Lots of football, but it begins the only place it can. Hollywood, baby. Last night, the Lakers in a closeout opportunity against the KD-less Rockets. And look who LeBron had back. Austin Reeves. Michael, you would have thought this would make this a done deal for the Lakers.
Oh, it takes a little time to reincorporate these guys into the lineup, though.
It certainly did. And Jabari Smith had some answers. Jabari knocking that one down. He had 22. The Rockets had a 13-point lead in the fourth quarter. And then it's defense. And we're going the other way. Lakers going to work it. It's going to be Rui Hachimura who finds himself open to knock down a three. And so the Lakers, who trailed all night long, cut it to 6. And then a couple of minutes later, Shams LeBron had 25, including this tough left hand.
I mean, he did everything he could. This Lakers team just didn't have enough, though, down the stretch.
25 points. That made it a three-point game. Now, here we go. Reed Shepherd. He hit some big shots late in this game, including this one, finding the space, puts the Rockets up 5. And then the problem for the Lakers has been the turnover. Here we go. We got a poke check steal. We got Shepherd going the other way. Here's the question. Can he dunk? Sort of. The Rockets up by 7. A minute and a half to go. Lakers
two-handed.
Down by 9. Reeves, he would score 22, but he was just 4 of 16 from the floor. Lakers cut it to 7. Under a minute left. This was the possession. Michael, they had some chances. Here's a wide open look.
Several wide open looks. You think one of them's going to go down and not that follow dunk.
Ayton got the putback. He had 18. That makes it a 3-point game. Next possession, down by 4. LeBron just no legs left at the finish. It's no good. And the Rockets, Houston, we have a problem. They hold on to win it and force a game 6 going back to Texas. LeBron entered last night having won 16 consecutive home games with a chance to clinch a playoff series. That was the longest such streak in history, but that streak is no more. The last time a road team beat LeBron James when facing elimination, Michael said it out loud this morning, you got to go back to 2008 against the Wizards in the first round. Here he was after last night.
Listen, it's one game. You give credit where credit is due. They've played well the last 2 games, exceptionally well, and got to answer the call. I mean, it's the next game. And try to flush this one. Obviously, we got to learn from our mistakes. I think we made some mistakes tonight. Too many unforced mistakes. So we got to be better on Friday.
All right, and so we got plenty of time to dive into this. And Winman, I will start with you. LeBron James, we talked about one kind of history. He never loses in the first round. Now he's sort of creeping towards some ignominious potential history here, as his team could become the first team ever to lose a 3-0 lead. What's the right thing to say about them this morning?
Well, if you go back at game 3, the Rockets were like 99.9% chance to win that game. They blow inexplicably a 6-point lead in the last 30 seconds of regulation. And then they win games 4 and 5 relatively handily. They led last night almost the whole way. And so when they say they think they've got the better team, they probably believe, Houston, that they should be up 3-2 in this series. And that's not crazy. They've made a couple of strategic changes that I think are being very interesting. Number one, we know Houston is one of the greatest offensive rebounding teams of all time. Greeny, they're backing off. They only had 6 offensive rebounds last night. They're backing off to get back in transition to try to slow down the Lakers' lifeblood of transition basketball. The Lakers haven't cracked 100 these last 2 games. The Rockets aren't really impressively scoring either, but they're slowing the Lakers down. The second thing is Luke Kennard and Marcus Smart. Those 2 guys combined for 50 points the first couple of games. Now they are getting nothing. Just 1 out of 11 the last 3 games. Kennard shooting 1 point last night. Marcus Smart twice as many turnovers as baskets last night. The Rockets have a formula here. And this is something that really, I think, is going to put some pressure on the Lakers.
Michael, what do you think?
I was waiting for Houston to be Houston and blow that game. Mm-hmm. You're waiting for missed free throws, turnovers, ill-advised shots. That's what Houston does. They don't close, and they haven't all season. And so when the Lakers couldn't do this, you mentioned LeBron probably haven't gotten a little tired. He would never admit it, and I understand why. 0 for 6 on threes, and they were all late, short.
Right.
Front rim seemed to be right on, suggesting legs. But, what Wendy's saying is really important here, because if you don't have those 2 guys scoring in a bunch to support LeBron, Austin Reeves is going to be better in Game 6, Green. He just is. He's going to be over the reintroduction to the lineup. I don't expect him to go 4 for 16 or whatever it is. He'll be assertive. But wow, kept waiting for Houston to blow it. They did not. Now, what does this mean for their confidence going home?
Well, they go home, and we can give you news you've not heard yet right now from Shams. What can you tell us about Game 6?
Well, Greeny, sources tell me Kevin Durant will be out for Game 6. He's not going to be playing, so he will have missed 5 of 6 games so far in this series. He's dealing with a bone bruise in his left ankle. We know he dealt with a tendon bruise that sidelined him for Game 1, but this bone bruise is a 2-week minimum injury. He's just over 1 week right now, so Houston's going to rely on that young core that they have. They've had pretty much full control of the last 3 games. They could have easily won Game 3, obviously, and you think about it, Amen Thompson, Reed Shepard, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Sengun. I have a stat for you. They're the youngest starting 5 to win a game in NBA playoff history.
Wow.
And the quartet of Thompson, Reed Shepard, Sengun, and Jabari Smith, they're plus 29 in this series. And so I think the onus for the Rockets has been a lot about that young core. How do they mesh with Kevin Durant? But now with no Kevin Durant, you're leaning on especially those 3 guys, Jabari Smith Jr. and Amen Thompson and Alperen Sengun. And last night, you know what caught my eye? Jabari Smith leading huddles down the stretch of the game. Every single time on defense, he was bringing the guys together. And those 3 guys have been leading dinners, team camaraderie down the stretch of this playoff run that obviously has had its ups and downs.
Rinman, how about that? How about them doing this without Kevin Durant basically for the entire series?
Yeah, well, I think Durant provides offense. And what the Rockets have figured out here is how to get into these games without needing more scoring by changing their scheme. And I mean, that, and not only that, but Reed Shepard growing up. Reed Shepard with a huge moment last night, not being afraid in the end. Remember, it was LeBron who stole the ball from Shepard in the vital moment in Game 3. How about Shepard right here, stealing the ball back from LeBron and then having the moment of his career throwing this dunk down? Their young guys are growing in confidence. And one other thing I'm going to point out, Houston's not blowing me away here with offense. I don't know what's going to happen, but in this series, there's been a ton of rest time built in. They've had all these extra days. That's over. 1 day between last night and Game 6, 1 day between Game 6 and Game 7. How might that affect LeBron, who has used the extra days to rest his legs?
The thing about Durant is this. As great as Kevin Durant is, we're not going to question Kevin Durant's greatness.
Right.
Standing around and watching and waiting on Kevin Durant and Sengun, which had been a large part of what was wrong to me with the Rockets, they can't do that. They can't do that. And also relying on Kevin Durant too much in this role of point guard. As great as he is, he's not that. Mm-hmm. So you don't have those 9 turnovers like you had in the one game that he played. So, look, the Lakers are going to react and respond to that. But when you don't know where it's coming from with that young Houston team, this is a pattern you're not going to necessarily even find on tape to study. This is different for them, and it has worked in the short term.
Michael, if I were to say to you, if the Lakers were going to win this series, which I think I expected them to do, last night was the night to do it. For the reason that Wendy just brought up. They got Reeves back. No Durant. They had the extra rest, which you figure with LeBron at 41 would be critical. Now you got travel and play and travel and play. It feels like if the Lakers were going to get this done, last night was the night to do it, and now it starts to teeter in the other direction. Does it feel like it's swinging to Houston significantly enough to you now that you think they're going to win?
I think they could win. The thing is, I have a hard time seeing the Lakers lose Game 7 at home. I've already jumped to that. Mm-hmm. I could see the Lakers getting their doors blown off in Houston tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. Sunday going back there, given what's at stake, and then you still put that young nucleus that Shams just talked about, you're putting them in a Game 7 situation, which none of them have been in, and certainly not together. Mm-hmm. And am I expecting Durant for Game 7? Why should we expect Durant for Game 7?
So those guys are maturing, though, right? Like Reed Shepard is basically a rookie. He didn't play much his first year. And then Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Sengun, this is their really second playoff run together. Amen Thompson as well. So there is a lot of youth. That's why you bring in Kevin Durant, though, right, to help down the stretch of games. But he's out. And so the onus, the responsibility is on these guys.
Okay, we will have much more on that game as we go. Obviously, it's the spotlight and the center of last night action. But we